Maybe.
G'day everyone, and thanks for tuning into my last batch of travels for the year 2022. In this video, I'm plonked in Australia's most popular city. Welcome to this concrete jungle we all love to hate. Without further ado, let this journey begin. And g'day guys, I'm coming to you from the biggest and busiest city here in Australia. I am in Sydney, New South Wales. And this stunning building you see behind me is the Sydney Central Station. So what I'm doing this evening is I'm getting on board the XPT train to take me from Sydney to Melbourne, and I'm getting on the sleeper service, which means we're expecting a full bed where I can lay down flat with a blanket, pillow, and hopefully I'll be able to take a shower on the train as well. So in my previous XPT video, I did mention that the next time if I get on board the XPT, it is number one, going to be the sleeper service, and number two, I'm going to do it in summer where the daylight is a lot longer, so I can get my money's worth to enjoy the view outside. So this is what I'm doing today. I'm back here in Sydney to take me back to Melbourne on the XPT train. So come along with me and see what the experience is like. Let's do this. If you're new to my channel, my name's Ryan. Born and bred in Singapore, I now call Australia home, which explains this weird hybrid accent of mine. I create heaps of travel and food related content. 2022 was a year I experienced so many firsts as far as traveling goes. New destinations, new airlines, and new dining experiences. If that's your thing, why not hit the subscribe button and bell icon? While you're down there, smash the like as well because I am shallow like that. It'll definitely encourage me to keep prodding along and produce more of these videos. So here's the thanks, and your support is very much appreciated. Sydney Central is Australia's largest and busiest railway station. Sometimes this station is referred to as Sydney Terminal. It's also an interchange for commuter rail, light rail, and bus services. This station was opened in 1906 and it caters to suburban, intercity, and regional services as well. It is heritage protected and it recorded 85.4 million passenger movements in 2018. Most passengers would mingle about this grand concourse where you'll see the extensive train information screen, where you'll find out which platform your train is operating from. Regional services or train services heading out of the state are normally assigned to platforms 1, 2, and 3. And here we are parading along platform number 1. This is where the Melbourne-bound XPT train will depart from. There are 4 services between Melbourne and Sydney daily, 2 each in opposite directions for the overnight, and another 2 departing in the morning. You'll be surprised how popular this service is, especially so these days when domestic airfares are at its highest. The train tonight will depart without a single empty seat. Nothing beats the feeling of ushering in the train you'll be traveling on. Tonight, we say hello to the diesel-powered Intercity 125 locomotive. It runs on standard gauge tracks, and this will power us on the 11-hour journey towards our destination. 30 minutes before our scheduled departure time of 8:30 p.m., we were invited to board. Car A is the only car which features the sleeper service. In 1982, I was 8 years old. Michael Jackson convinced us he was a lady killer when he released The Girl Is Mine. Shoulder pads had their own postcode, and electric blue eyeshadow was all the rage. I discovered Smash Hits magazine and strangely got turned on by Olivia Newton-John's Physical music video. That was also the year XPT was introduced. Stepping on board this train felt like entering a time machine. It looked like 1982, felt like 1982, and strangely even smelled like 1982. This is going to be my home for the next 11 hours and then some. So let's get familiar with it. Placed on the seat, we have the amenity kit which I will go through later in the journey. And there's also a bath and face towel for our perusal. There's 2 of these kits because I'm expecting a cabin mate on tonight's service. These night lights would prove useful later when the main cabin lights are turned off for us to sleep. There's only one charging port to be shared between you and your cabin mate. And you have these narrow storage nooks to place heavy winter coats in. The tray table is stored here, and they can be removed and placed into the armrest during mealtimes. Your larger bags can be stored up here or beneath the seat. As I was getting settled in, the train attendant in charge of us came by to hand me my welcome box. She gave me another one for my cabin mate, and that was when I confirmed this service was indeed full. As this was so close to departure time, I was secretly hoping no one would turn up. The staff tonight were all in good spirits and definitely would be invited to any dinner party. And this set the tone for all our interactions going forward. It is now just 8:25, so we have all come on board to settle down into our seats and just to familiarize ourselves with the surrounding. I was just told by the attendant it's going to be a full service tonight, so I'll be expecting someone to join me in this cabin. That's the thing about booking on this sleeper service. You do, if the cabin is full, if the service is full, you do have a high chance of traveling with a stranger in the cabin together with you. So this is just something to take note. They cannot guarantee that you'll have the cabin to yourself. So it's 8:25 now. We're supposed to be leaving at 8:40. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed whoever that's coming here will not make the train. So I'll have the cabin to myself. Fingers crossed. My cabin mate eventually turned up. You know how when you meet someone for the first time and you know it's gonna be okay? You'd get along just fine? Thankfully he was like that, and not some nose-picking, farting creep. The attendant took the opportunity to brief us both on the safety procedures and how to release our respective beds. I had the lower bunk, so there was no need for me to parkour myself about the cabin. We were also reminded that we would be sharing the toilet with 2 ladies next door, and we needed to observe the usual considerations. So, how did we respond to that?
Really?
So basically just spray, leave the seat up, the usual stuff.
Yeah. We're not living in home with love now, okay?
We speak the same language.
Okay, so...
Anyway, just before she left, our breakfast orders were taken, which would be served just after sunrise, an hour before we arrive into Melbourne. This is my second ride on the New South Wales XPT train. So far, they've all departed on time. On my last trip, little bits of delay along the track meant that we would arrive a little later than scheduled. It is no different with tonight's trip. So it's a good thing we are never in a rush to go anywhere when taking a train. Our journey tonight will see us make 13 stops, covering a distance of 866 kilometers in just under 11.5 hours. Albury is the halfway point, where we'll get a fresh set of crew, so we'll wake up with different attendants welcoming us into Melbourne. After our departure from Campbelltown, the buffet counter was officially opened. An hour before this, hot meal orders were taken, so now they were ready to be collected, and that's where we're headed. We take a walk through the first class cabin, and to be honest, in the harshness of this bright white fluorescent light worthy of a Kmart outlet, it looked anything but first class. In my previous video, the train was half full, so I was able to sample what the seats in first class is like. A footrest accompanies the fantastic pitch. The armrest is movable, and each seat comes with a very sturdy table made of metal. The recline is incredibly generous, which is fine for a daytime journey. But man, doing this for 11 hours overnight is simply brutal. Here's the buffet car in full swing. They're open throughout the journey tonight except when approaching Albury, where they'll be closed for a bit for the handover to the incoming set of crew. So if you can't sleep and feel the need to munch like a gremlin, you'll be well catered for. With a full dinner tray in hand, trying to film this while walking back to our cabin was somewhat challenging. The rail tracks aren't exactly the smoothest at this point, so you might as well break into a little song and dance routine as you track along. Just make sure your dinner doesn't end up on someone's head. As someone who grew up in Singapore, we're incredibly discerning with our curries. There are times when the bland diet of white Australia gets too much and we crave for flavor. So we settle and compromise for crappy Aussie curries just to tie us over. Tonight's curry was surprisingly tasty. I really wasn't all that hungry because prior to this, I had already eaten the entire day away filming a foodie video. Still, I do this because I wanted to showcase what dining is like on the XPT. As long as your expectations are managed, you'll be fine. Or, like tonight for me, even surprised at how palatable this is. So, thumbs up XPT! Now that we're done with that very late dinner, it's time to release the locks and deploy the bed. There is no turn-down service, so it's pretty much left to your own devices. We were shown how to unlock the beds beforehand, so there was no issue at all. The bed comes pre-made with sheets, a thick duvet, and 2 pillows which seem to have been squashed to smithereens. So I'd stack them on top of each other to get a comfy sleep. The bed itself has a very firm mattress, so it is a relatively comfortable place to be in. Now if only the door would stay closed. I won't lie to say this sleeping experience was 5-star. You see, I never sleep well in moving vessels no matter how comfy the position is. I can be in an overnight first-class suite with a gazillion thread count Egyptian cotton bed sheets and still be wide awake like a vampire out for a feed. The XPT is a fairly quiet train. The gentle rocking motion has been known to be therapeutic, and can put some full-grown adults to sleep standing up. But not me. Sleep was just fleeting naps at best, and at other times, I laid there wide awake, getting more stressed by the hour I wasn't getting any sleep. So if I wasn't performing as expected in bed tonight, I'm sorry XPT, it's not you, it's me. I might as well pucker up and head to the toilet and shower, which is shared between two cabins. It contains a sink and a toilet bowl beneath. Time to freshen up, brush my teeth, and hopefully a refreshing warm shower would wake me up. This cheap thrill of showering for the first time on a moving vessel was hard to ignore. The water pressure was great, and if you've had a good night's sleep, this would be the perfect way to start your day. I was seriously train lagged at this point. With little to no sleep at all, I found it really difficult to appreciate the beautiful sunrise in country Victoria. Still, with a fresh change of clothes, I sat there and eagerly awaited breakfast service to begin, trying to soak in the ever-brightening scenery out of the window. By the way, it's time we take a look at what the amenity kit is like. Let's start with the plastic comb, which I will find so incredibly useful. There is also a 2-in-1 shampoo conditioner plus a shower gel. This strange-looking James Bond gadget is actually a foldable cup. And no, that's not a strand of someone's DNA, but a shower cap. Earbuds in case you don't want to hear yourself talk too much. Last but not least, a toothbrush kit. I'm happy to be giving this away to anyone who leaves a comment on this video. Let me know your Instagram handle and why you want this amenity kit. I have 3 conditions. 1. You must be living in Australia. 2. Be subscribed to my channel. And 3. Be a follower on my Instagram account. The winner will be announced on my Instagram page at the end of March 2023. I will then ship the kit to you free of charge. So good luck! Before long, it was time for brekkie, which is delivered to your cabin. The order was taken the night before during our safety briefing, and we had a gigantic choice of cornflakes, and cornflakes. I didn't know what to choose, so I went for cornflakes. We had a choice of hot bevy as well, and I chose hot chocolate, knowing how crappy coffee is on board. I do not take too kindly to a coffee bag. Our journey is coming to an end, so let me draw up a summary of my thoughts. The New South Wales XPT celebrated its 40th anniversary in 2022. It's been providing consistent, reliable service all that time, so kudos to them. My comments about the service being rough around the edges and out of date remains intact. And XPT knows it too, which is why replacement trains are scheduled to arrive in 2023. However, a dispute between the New South Wales government and the Spanish train manufacturer has put this timeline into jeopardy. So who knows when the newer modern trains will arrive? Oh yes, there's no confirmation yet, that the new trains will feature the sleeper cabin. So while these cranky relics of the 80s are still running, get yourself on the sleeper service before it potentially disappears completely. FYI, I paid about $235 one way. So that's a plane ticket, plus a hotel stay thrown into one. It is surely a unique way to travel from one city center to another without the stress of airport security and idiotic airport Karens. For now, I have to keep my eyes open and stay awake for the remainder of my journey back to Adelaide. Before that, let's enjoy our arrival into Melbourne's Southern Cross station. Was the XPT sleeper service. That was definitely a fantastic experience. Would you get on an XPT sleeper service? I mean, let me know in the comments what do you think, because if you want to get on such a service, you have to do it soon though, because this sleeper service is scheduled to be replaced in 2023. So when the new trains come online, they won't have the sleeper service anymore. Yeah, so if you want to do it, you better be quick, because it was scheduled to be replaced in 2023, but we don't know when exactly, because the replacement date has kind of sort of shifted a little bit. So yeah, get onto it as soon as you can, alright? So I've chucked details of my Instagram on your screen right now, so hit me up there, chuck me a follow, so you can actually follow my travels in real time. It also gives you an idea of the kind of videos that will be coming up on my YouTube channel. And more importantly, of course, don't forget to hit the subscribe and notification bell so you get pinged every time when one of my videos come up, alright? So until my next video, take care all of you, stay safe, and I'll see you for my next one. Bye!